Hello YouTubers, it's been a while, but yes, I am back. Mr. B is here to give you more useful tips, tricks and information to aid you in your studies of drama and theatre studies. Now, I am here today to talk to you about Stanislavski. Now, there's lots to say about Stanislavski, and there'll be a lot that you already know about Stanislavski, having been in many of my lessons when we've talked about things like given circumstances, the magic if, emotion memory, looking at things like the inner truth of the character and how we create a really strong psychological truth. Now, there's a technique that is very, very useful for you to learn at A level, which is called the objectives of the character. So Stanislavski called it units and objectives. What this essentially means is, what is the motivation of the character? The character might say one thing, but he may mean something completely different. That is what subtext essentially is. So let me give you a really simple way about how you get into the subtext of any scene. When you are studying a play that is being done in a naturalistic style, what you should look for in the script is the I wants of a character, the objectives of the character. So think about every line that the character is saying, they will have an objective, an I want, that is attached to that individual line. I will give you an example of this. So say the line is, would you like a cup of coffee? Would you like a cup of coffee is the line. Now, I could say that in a way that suggests that actually I don't want to make them a cup of coffee at all. I want to get them out of my house as quickly as possible. So the line, would you like a cup of coffee? I'm thinking in my head, I want to get rid of you. I want you to leave my house. So when I say the line, do you want a cup of coffee? I'll say it like this, with the I want in my head. Would you like a cup of coffee? And clearly you can see there that my use of facial expression, my tone of voice, the way that I said it, everything changed. It wasn't friendly, was it? It was in fact very unfriendly. And so the subtext of would you like a cup of coffee, by doing it in that way, by thinking about the I want to get you out of my house, you're essentially creating a much richer kind of form of subtext than if you say, would you like a cup of coffee? I'll turn that completely on its head. The same line, would you like a cup of coffee, but this time the objective, the I want that I'm thinking about in my head when I say the line is, I want to seduce you, or I want to kiss you. So I'll say the line again. Would you like a cup of coffee? So you can see there, obviously that's really, I'm not a great actor myself, so that's kind of a bit of a rubbish bit of performance for myself. But can you see the subtle differences between me saying, do you want a cup of coffee? And would you like a cup of coffee? You can see clearly there that there are two very different objectives at work there for the character. So my top tip for the day is that when you are in your groups or when you're working on your scripts, it's very, very worthwhile experience and exercise to go through the script and instead of just reading it and then finishing it and then reading it again and then finishing it, actually go into each individual line and assign an objective to every single line. So every single line in your script should have a little marker where you're putting your own notes, and the note should say something like, I want to ... And if you can do that for every single line, and if you can actually have a discussion with the person that you're working with to say, well, if my objective on this line is that I want to get I want to get into bed with you, then maybe the next line, the objective for your character is to say, I don't want to get into bed with you, or I do. And so working with your group there, you can help create a really rich kind of array of different kinds of objectives and goals, and I always call them the I wants of the character, and I think that's a better way of remembering it and thinking about it. Every character wants something, and it might not necessarily be what they are actually saying. So they're the key kind of terms that I want you to think about today. The objectives of the character, the motivations of the character, the I wants of the character. And if you can consider all of these things and really, really think about each individual I want and each individual objective for the character as you're going through the script, what you will end up with is a performance that is rich in subtext. And if you can show subtext clearly in your performance, then that will get you a really, really good grade. So that is Stanislavski's Objectives, the I wants subtext. Check back soon, there will be more informative videos coming your way in the future. Bye now.